Okay, this is Grant here with another tutorial video. I've decided to do a series on commutators. This, being the first in the series, will be on one of the most used commutators, which is Corner-3 cycles. Okay, basically what you do is sequence X, sequence Y, the opposite of sequence X, and then the opposite of sequence Y. And that will cycle 3 corners. Now, to give you an example, I'll show you. This is a cube that has 3 incorrect corners. I'm not going to explain anything yet, I'm just going to show you. Okay, so we're going to do R inverse, Y, which is going to be D, and now we're going to do the opposite of X, which will be R inverse, U inverse, R inverse, and then we're going to do the opposite of Y. So you just cycled 3 corners into their correct positions. Okay, so now I'll show you what we're actually doing. Okay, so when you have 3 corners wrong, what you need to do is find a layer, side layer, whatever you want to call it, a layer that has 2 incorrect corners and one of them is oriented correctly. So let's look at this layer right here. We've got 1 correctly oriented and 1 incorrect. So we have 2, 1 layer, and the other is in the top. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. So let's look at the top one. We're going to insert it into the right position. It is yellow, red, and green. Where should it go? Yellow, red, and green. It needs to go here. If you're familiar with layer by layer, then you'll know how to get it in there. So we're just going to do 1, 2, 3. Inserted it into the right position. We screwed up the rest of the cube, but that doesn't matter. It's in the right position. That's called sequence X. So now we have to undo the stuff that screwed up the rest of the cube. But first, since we don't want to undo that, because we'll just get back to the position we were just in, we're going to replace our solved corner with our other unsolved one in this layer. That's sequence Y. Now we're going to do the opposite of sequence X. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to do the opposite of sequence Y. Done. Okay, there are some positions, though, that will require something called conjugation. Conjugation is when it doesn't meet any of those previous cases. See, we have all of them in one layer, and they are all oriented correctly. Okay, so let's see. We need to get one of these corners into the top layer. I'm just going to choose this one. Okay. So we have our red, green, and white in the top layer. Where does it need to go? Red, green, and white. It needs to go here. Using our layer by layer skills, how would we get this corner right here? I think what I'm going to do is move this up, do U2, move it down. It's in the right position, but we screwed up the rest of the cube. So remember, we're going to replace it with our other unsolved corner, sequence Y. And now we're going to undo what we just did. And now we're going to undo sequence Y. And now we're going to undo our conjugation. And you got a solved cube. That's about all you really need to know on Corner-3 cycles. If you have any questions, message me.